San Diego Comic-Con. Fantastic Comics in Brooklyn is the best shop in the world, hands down.
Dan, Klaus! I really identified with the girls in Ghost World. They made me feel like I wasn't so alone.
Yeah, whatever. Do you know anyone who works at Batman? 'Cause I really want to draw Batman. I'm awesome at utility belts. Check these out. This is where the Batman keeps his money, in case he has to take the bus.
Eat!
At last, the greatest album of love songs ever recorded. You'll want to share them with someone special.
Why do birds suddenly appear?
Sung by the man who turned a personal affliction into a recording career, Don No Soul Simmons.
Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, they long to be close to you. She'd been sitting there and
So curl up by the fireside and listen to the non-threatening music of this master showman.
And honey, I miss you. And I'm being good. And I'd love to be with you. If only I could. Say, has anybody seen my sweet gypsy rose? Here's her picture when she was my sweet man.
Young lovers of any age will cherish this timeless collection of the world's most romantic ballads. And if you act now, you'll get free this bonus album, Don Simmons Down and Funky.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said.
This 2-record collection is not available in any stores, so order now.
Yes, he always had some mighty fine wine.
Andy Warhol and John Waters, in conjunction with Saliva Productions, present Jim Barrie's beloved children's classic, Peter Pan.
I think I see him.
No, that's just a cloud.
No, it's not. It's Peter.
I'm flying. Look at me way up high, suddenly here am I, I'm flying.
Yes, it's Divine, starring as the boy who wouldn't grow up.
I won't grow up.
I won't go up.
I don't want to go to school.
I don't want to go to school.
Just to learn to be a parrot.
Just to learn to be a parrot.
And recite a silly rule.
And recite a silly rule.
Alan Pearl. Interesting. How do these people, where do they come from? You know, sure, I'd seen him around. It would never have occurred to me to walk up to the dentist and say, you know, are you interested in this? But I was shopping for my wife, Bonnie. I buy most of her clothes. And Mrs. Pearl was in the same shop. And it just was an accident. You know, we started talking about pantyhose. She was saying, whatever, that's not the point of the story, but what the point was that through this accidental meeting, it's like, you know, it's like a Hitchcock movie where, you know, you're thrown into a rubber bag and put in the trunk of a car. You find people. You find them. Something. Is it karma? Maybe. But we found him. That's the important thing. And I got Bonnie a wonderful pantsuit.
What the hell is this?
This is the bill that will convert the State Hospital for the Insane into the William J. Lepedimane Memorial Gambling Casino for the Insane.
Gentlemen, this bill will be a giant step forward in the treatment of the insane gambler.
Yes, bravo. Beautifully put down.
Bread, $2 extra.
$2, but everyone in front of me got free bread.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3. What? No soup for you.
Is that Henrietta Pussycat? The Henrietta Pussycat from the neighborhood of make-believe?
The same. Thank you, P. I use her as a shower mitt. Does that bother you, Quizby?
Exactly, Lidge! That's a priceless artifact and part of our collective childhood, you monster!
Get to this man. He's never gonna let you down. He's always looking so fly. No other pup can compare, that's why. Gizmo's the best dog in the world. Even better than Snoop Dogg. That motherfucker better watch out for Gizmo. He's got style and he's got grace. Gizmo's the pup that can't be replaced.
No, that's the whole point. It's the same exact thing, but it's with women, right? So it's a new idea.
Okay, I just feel that if it's all with women, then it should be better.
Why can't we just do the same thing?
Because if we do the same thing, then why are we doing it at all?
Yeah, I gotta say I agree with that. I mean, why can't we just come up with our own record to break? Like some badass woman who could really throw them back, you know? Judy Garland, Liz Taylor.
Joan Crawford.
Betty Ford. But no, those are all sad examples of alcohol abuse. The box thing just feels more fun, you know? When women do it, it just feels sad.
Oh. Smart-ass ex-boyfriend. You know who I am?
A deeply resourceful retail manager.
Renee is with me now. Okay? You got that? So don't be sniffing around her anymore like you try to do with that. Shit.
There goes the loan.
Listen to me. I got two things to tell you. All right? One, I don't like you. You see you every week in this mall. I don't like shiftless layabouts. You're one of these fucking loser mall rat kids. You don't come down here to work or shop. You hang out all day. Act like you fucking live here. Well, I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda.
Is this what's known as motivated salesmanship?
To a car wash?
Not ever get rich. Let me tell you, it's better than digging a ditch or being chased by a witch.
There ain't no telling who you might meet.
A movie star, maybe even a Indian chick. Working at the car wash. Working at the car wash. Yeah. Come on and sing it with me. Car wash. Get with the feeling, y'all. Car wash. Yeah.
People don't like Globochem and its 2023 different products.
The perception is that this company is a monster.
A beast.
A cold, heartless, smelly behemoth.
Run by a greedy,
fat-headed fatty pants.
A fatso. Who do you think you are? This company cares. We were in the people business when you were in short pants. My great-grandfather started this company with one single rickety, leaky, handcrafted slave ship and a simple motto: people selling people to people. So don't tell me that I'm fat!
Oh, come out or I'll blast you out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with high shot. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents number 222. What's your favorite comic out there that had a 222 attached to it? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments down below. For those of you that are new here,
my name is
Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right. My name is Yule. I own Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. We're open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. This is a little show for my customers and all y'all out there that are interested in hearing about a comic book owner, a store owner's point of view, a fan, a longtime fan. I'm not just a guy that got stuck selling comic books when his gaming empire went tits up or anything like that. No, I'm totally invested in comics through and through, and I've been a fan all my life. It's what got me reading, and I want to share my love of comics to all you people that shop in the store. Not necessarily things I like, just the art of comic books. And we talk about things that happen in the store, things that we talk about in the store. And this very first segment is one that we just give a little bit of time to. That's right. We like to talk about wrestling in the comic book store. WrestleMania came and went. AEW had a big pay-per-view. There's a bunch of shenanigans going on, but overall, it's just kind of wrestling as usual. WWE has their King and Queen of the Ring tournaments going on, and there were some cool things going on. 3 Irish people wrestled, and one was in the center of the ring for an interview. Can you name all of them? That was kind of cool. Something that wasn't, it's wrestling related. It's an AEW star, and this was in a restaurant at the bar.
Okay. Well, I didn't do it wrong. Except spend money and put this place over and bring my family and friends here. That is bad for you. What would it be best for me? Well, watch social media tomorrow. I don't follow social media. Well, you better. I don't get stuck on my phone. What's your name, nut job? Nicholas what? Nicholas Dickhead. You don't have to call me like that, sir. Don't ever talk. You don't have to call me like that, sir. You don't have to do this to me. If you really me and my family. I'm not familiar. I didn't do one thing wrong. I walked into the bathroom. And you cussed at my kitchen manager. Oh, you're a kid I accosted. Really? What world do you live in? That's what I'm talking about. The same world you live in. How did I accost him? Did I touch him? Cuss him. You said cuss word. I never said a cuss word. You know, is that his word against yours? I didn't say one cuss word. Okay. God. No, ma'am, I'm going to give you $1,000 tip just to say to him, kiss my ass. If you walk outside here, you don't have to be disrespectful to me. I know. You're disrespecting me. How am I disrespecting? Telling me to leave. I'm not telling you to leave, we're just telling you that you're cut off. Oh, I'm cut off and I'm drunk? Really? Yes, sir. It don't matter if you're famous or not. Here, ma'am, ma'am, please give yourself $1,000 tip. $1,000 tip. This guy and I are so cool. She and I are cool. And long comes dipshit. You don't have to call me like that. I said it. I never did. I'll say it again. You're a dipshit. You have to get out of here right now. Oh, I'm leaving. Trust me. I won't come back again. Thank God. Come on inside here and talk to me like a man. I'm not going to do that because I'm on the clock. You push you are. You're on the pussy clock. No, I'm not. Stop. Hey, you want to go out and talk with me in the park? I don't work here. I don't give a shit. We'll talk tonight. What's that? You heard me. What's that? Stop. Okay? What did you say to me? What did you say to me? Excuse me. I brought my whole family here. I need one of those little bar straws for this food.
Do you know how many?
Just one. Just one? I'm not bad. I have no reason to be bad.
And that's your Wrestling Minute. My goodness, Ric Flair, what's going on? You know, he says that he didn't curse, but he seemed pretty belligerent. And yeah, sometimes you say words that people are, oh, that's a cuss word, you know. He also is like, you know, you could tell how old he was. He's all, watch those media. Watch those media. Wrestling wasn't a big deal this week. That's why. I guess this is a real good time for me to say to every one of you that watches live and after the fact.
Hello. 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 Ow! Go! Look out! Hello.
Hello. Look out. Hello. Let me get this. Last I saw, my team was ahead 8-1. The last time they lost was last Tuesday. There was that B thing going on. Cheers, everyone. We're going to be talking about Free Comic Book Day, how it was for me. Maybe you can let me know in the chat how it was for you. Was there anything you received that you got that you liked? Was there a sale going on? Did you pick up something you didn't think you would pick up? Toy, poster, whatever. We're going to talk about new comics coming out. And there's going to be the Transformers number 6 giveaway. There's a whole bunch of Transformers coming out tomorrow. So let's talk about what you have to say. First up, Fantinuum. Man, it was an awesome FCBD. You all had a great anniversary party for the store. Live music, food, and drinks. It was all there. Lane Kramer. Positive is already. I will say already I dislike the sound of X Factor already with how they are marketing how the team is going to work for August 24. Well, he's specifically talking about something I wasn't paying attention to. How is the team going to work? Are they not going to do the Marvel method, or are they going to get together in a retreat? Well, that's what they used to do. It's all going to be Zoom. Let me know in the chat lane. Elithidlore. I hope Skybound is lying about the Transformers book being an exact reprint of the FCBD issue with a different cover. Yeesh. I don't have both of them right now. I think this is thicker than that other one. So I don't think it can be an exact reprint. I could be wrong. If it is, it wasn't made returnable. And I think there's going to be a lot of angry retailers talking hellish shit about Kirkman, should that be the case. We can talk about that a little bit more in a bit. And also, it was pretty much a perfect FCBD comic, but as a regular issue, it's basically just a recap issue with a little bit of new stuff hinted at. Yeah, I think this will not be a bad thing. All right, she'll be Pill in the other room. Hello, Lane. Hey, evening. Hope all hope people are doing good. All hope people are doing good. Well, I would hope so. Dwayne Muth. Good evening, Yule, and everyone in chat. Dwayne. What was this? Why doesn't it click? That is the best look Yule has had recently. Wait, what? What did I do? I think it's funny. I literally have 0 comics to pick up this next week. I don't think it's funny at all. Also, Elithor wants to chime in. Not reading Transformers, Deviant, Last Mermaid, or Sacrificers. Why, I'm reading 2 of those for sure, and am behind on 1. And the other one, I haven't even started. Lord Gonzo. Barn burner. Well, yes, it was a barn burner. WWE Backlash was a pile. You kidding me? Really? You didn't hear the crowd? You know, Dave Meltzer has made matches that were kind of subpar, or shows that were subpar. But since the crowd was so in it, he still gave it the 5 stars. Well, this crowd was into it and then some. Maybe to the point where they were like into it themselves, a little too, into themselves a little too much. But overall, it ruined the audio. But they were they were 10 stars right there. Let's see. No, there's some good ones. There's some good ones, Lane. What the heck is with this Ric Flair? Yeah, really. He's just a mess. Gotham City Comics, Ric Flair equals GOAT. Definitely. That's GOAT action right there for sure. Lord Gonzo. Ric Flair is such a dork. He is such a dork. And if Flair didn't take to social media to attack the restaurant, they probably wouldn't have released the tape. Holy cow, I didn't even know that. Yeah, it was hilarious. Ric Flair looks like Jimmy Durante. Ha-cha-cha-cha. I had to wait for 35 minutes in line, ended putting my foot in my mouth, bought the Polybag Blood Hunt #1 along with the one from Yule. Good. It was worth it. We're going to be talking about the best of last week in just a minute. It was solicited as being a reprint of FCBD. Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? That's just, why would you fucking do that? It's part of the marketing. They are doing it. They use this terminology like this for propaganda and such. For America, it's the most patriotic, marketable team to save democracy. Wait, what? I missed something. The French crowd were just cheering everything. I mean, fair game to them because WWE raked them over the coals on ticket prices. Also, I mean, geez, they've got for that type of entertainment, they've got to be starved for it. You know, I mean, this is like once in how many blue moons? Dwayne says, I sent a big table of comics outside my LCS Saturday and Sunday and a few $100. Dollar stuff, you know, cheapies. That's cool if it is. Oh, I got you. Okay, wait. I can feel the Mark Russell tasticness of Joker crap baby when I read this. They're going to be doing the opposite of that. Well, it should be to you soon. I got a scare at the post office today, but I don't need to talk about that right now. Anyway, all right, excellent guys. Good to see you. I'll get back to chat in just a little bit. We're gonna run through things really quick, but first I just want to talk about Free Comic Book Day. To get prepped for the show, I went to Facebook and to the retailer group that I belong to over there, and I read people talking about Free Comic Book Day, and I saw people that were like, you know, about it, and then there were others that were like, you know, you get what you put into it. Some people saying it was their best days ever, and they've been doing it 47 years. Sounds like somebody that was not a hot iron. But you know, so I saw all of it. It is a lot of work, and even though I had help, it's still a lot of work. And as an owner of a store that's working the register, even if you weren't working the register in our bigger location back in the day, it was a ton of people, and I had to be on that whole time. You always really have to be on, but there are moments you can let what hair you have left down. But when you're doing Free Comic Book Day, you got to, and you're like moving people around, and you're trying to, like, you know, make sure everybody's cool and happy with everything. It's exhausting. And then on top of it, I was stupid enough to have, like, you know, a gathering that evening, have things that I wanted to do during that gathering, and then have to do all the other things, of course, during that gathering. So nothing was really reveled in. I mean, there was a lot of drinking and smoking and hanging out and seeing people I hadn't seen in a long time, and really being able to, like, you know, just kind of, you know, just hang out and have a good time. But on the other hand, you know, it was still sometimes ringing people up and, you know, being on, even though I'm partying, you know, on good behavior, and also be sociable. So then Sunday comes, and my buddy Ryan comes with me. He's the one who did the flyer. We all worked on things together. He came with me. We came to clean up the store, and it was pretty clean. I mean, everything was really great. It was really easy and kick back, and we just kind of hung out for a little bit. But as the day went on, because Sunday is when I put comics up for the next day, for the next week, and I get the orders together, and I put all the customer holds aside and all that stuff, I started feeling it. And it wasn't really anger. It was more just like emptiness. And I didn't even know how I really felt. It's kind of like getting sick, I guess. Like, you can just feel it coming on. I wasn't sick. I went home and I, you know, ate, hung out with Jill for a little bit, but then fell asleep watching Backlash. So it was a great show for me. A show I can fall asleep to comfortably. That's a great pay-per-view. But I was much better the next day. Everything was great. I actually went back to the store. There was some hanging out and finishing up the work I needed to do. But when I say that I was burnt out, I really got burnt out, but it didn't really manifest until the very next day. And it was just like shock. Finally, it had become me or something like that. Dwayne Moose says dollar comics and set of books dirt cheap. Lots of younger people. So another thing about it was last week I was talking about all the different type of free comic book days there's been. We had times when we would have like costumes and we would judge them, and we would have giveaways and really big prizes and all this other stuff, including winning all the free comics in a bag and all this other junk. Fun. Lots of sales. Sometimes it rained and people were like, having to hang outside for a little bit. But in my very, very little store, we were going to open it up, which we have done. And we're going to have things on the outside and tables out on the outside and people milling about there and then coming inside and shopping and everybody just being able to do that on the inside. And of course, it rained. And it rained very, very, very good. It was a good rain. But for the most part, people were able to come in. There was a few times when it was really kind of, we're really pushing the limits of how many people I feel comfortable having in the store. But even then, we were able to take care of them. Anybody that wanted to get something was able to. Anybody that didn't wanted to leave, that was fine also. That was one of the complaints I saw someone have in the retailers group. Did anybody else just get upset because it seems people come in and then they just leave? You have to have something of what they're picking up that they can see so that they can, it's more than just having free comics. Here, buy something. You have to have things that they might want to buy, of course. And there are definitely people that come in, they're just coming in for the free stuff. I'm coming in for the free stuff, and I'm coming in for extra free stuff on top of it. But, that's just one of the things. You got to be a salesman also. Show people stuff. Have something for them to see. Have something about you that, they want to. Purchase something. What's next? Lord Gonzo. I missed it this year. Well, let me tell you, Lord Gonzo. Go to your local comic store. If they're anything like me, I've got that Energon one. And if it's anything like the one on the shelf, I might not have it for long. There's the Marvel one. Got a whole bunch of the Marvel ones. There's one with the X-Men, one with Spider-Man, one with other people. Blood Hunt. There's an important part of the story that you didn't get in all of the Blood Hunt. It's not even in the Red Band. Illithid lore. Energon Universe and Conan were the clear winners. Although apparently Liefeld thought Conan was super disappointing and thought Marvel had the best. Well, he has a movie that's associated with Marvel right now. He's doing some covers over there, so his needle of who he likes is shifting over to Marvel. But the minute DC starts to talk glowingly about Liefeld, he'll be over there. Or the minute Marvel doesn't do anything, or, then it's right back to Conan. But whatever. Rob. Probably their best because the other shops around them had to shut down. Lane Kramer gifted us one Fantastic Comics membership. I don't know how to do that, but awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to do that. Excellent. Excellent. All right, good guys. All right. Oh no, Frank Miller made a cover for the Uncle Scrooge in the Infinity Dime, and it's not his best work. And it's not horrible though. It's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. All right, let's talk about comics from last week that I thought were worth a damn. Also, sometimes it's not because I read them that I think they're so great. It's just they did really well in sales also. All right, let's see. Oh, it's up here. All right. No, did I not bring them up? No, I got to do that. Best of last week. I need to put a video together for that stupid thing. Let's see. Best of last week. Right here, and right here. All right. This first one was a surprise. I had no idea that, I don't know, man. It's just something about it. I haven't read but the first issue. I'm not really into it, but I have a lot of fans of this character, and I have to reorder constantly. So I'm going to give it some love today. Thor by Al Ewing. And is that Carlo Magno on art? Really? Yeah, so there you go. Next up, a book I do like, Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Nick Klein's back on the book. So everybody that likes this cover can be happy that the inside has this quality work in it once again. And Brother Voodoo's in it. Isn't that cool? Next up, we have Savage Sword of Conan, a book I have not yet read. I am slightly disappointed in the artwork. There's moments where I think that Richard Case is doing some really great stuff. And although I think his scratchy and less detailed pencils are cool, in concert with the rest of the pages of the book, it just doesn't feel good. It feels like one got photocopied, or one was done way later than the other ones, or he worked with whatever pages he thought was good and then kind of didn't give a shit about the other ones. I really do like the panel layouts, though, in this book, and it's a lot different than a regular Conan comic book. So I definitely recommend checking it out just for that alone. And I'm sure Jim Zub's going to be writing a great story. I just haven't got around to it. I've been kind of busy. But this one sells very well, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, here's another one I didn't read, but it sold out. Oh, Rob Liefeld's favorite book, Deadpool World War III Wolverine. All right. Joe Kelly, quite possibly, let me know in chat if you agree, that Joe Kelly is the writer of Deadpool. When you think of all the writers that write the definitive Deadpool, the Deadpool that everybody envisioned started and was done best by Joe Kelly. And Adam Kubert on artwork, holy cow. No wonder I sold out. And I got a bunch of these, way more than the normal Deadpool book, a little bit more than the regular Wolverine book. But yeah, there you go. And then the last book of the week, one I couldn't stop crowing about. But when Wes and Doc were talking about the Dan Buckley interview with ICV2, I think, and it was from Comics Pro, and they're talking about the industry and what's good and what's bad and what they're looking forward to and what they're doing to try and make things, work better. A lot of it I thought sounded pretty good, but their track record isn't so great, and I'll give Wes that. And so there's no reason to really believe or think that things are going to change if you think things are bad at Marvel. But he brought in this book into the conversation, and they were talking, as to what Dan Buckley was talking about and how things are changing. People working in the same room together, working on marketing, working on all this other stuff. And Wes and Doc compare it to Mark Miller when they were on Civil War. And then they're comparing Civil War to this book that's coming out now. And I'm not sure if I necessarily think it's fair, but this is a part that I clipped, and I thought we should talk about it just a little bit.
Bloodhunt's got Jed McKay,
I don't understand how they can come to the conclusion that a 60-issue event about Marvel fighting vampires is a good presentation, the strongest presentation they've done in years.
That's right. The strongest presentation that they've done in years, Blood Hunt. I don't know if it's necessarily something that they're saying is their strongest presentation, but if you take Dan Buckley at his word, what he's saying is that they are implementing things that are different. And this is the beginning of that. We can see it with Blood Hunt. Now, Wes's praise of Blood Hunt was probably more in the 7 range, but I personally think that this was a 10 out of 10 book, 100%. The art was good if you like Pepe Larraz. There's elements of Pepe Larraz I can see where people might not like it, but I thought overall it was really cool. I thought the new villains that I had never seen before were pretty inventive. And Marvel really incentivized me to want to get the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th issues. And everybody and their mother wanted to get more of the Red Band than I possibly could have had. And I think partially it's because I did listen to people on the internet. Not only are there 60 fucking bucks, but there's also the Red Band that's going to cost $1 more, and it's only going to have this shit. Yeah, well, now everybody wants that shit, huh? What was I listening to anybody for? I knew it was cool. I've seen this stuff. Everybody loves that. I mean, it wasn't really that cool, the Red Band edition, but it was different. I feel it oversold and underdelivered, actually. But for an extra buck instead of buying the main one, it was totally worth it. People get, it's 60 issues. Trying to be nice. If you buy all the 60 issues, you should probably clean up your room because your comic books are going to fall on your ass, okay? Why would anybody buy all 60 issues that tie into Blood Hunt unless they were getting every single Marvel comic all the time? I even have a guy, he's not going to buy every single one, and he buys every single comic. If you think you need to read every single tie-in comic to get the entire story of Blood Hunt, you're crazy. And you've never read comics before, obviously. Obviously. You read every Civil War. You read every House of M. You read every Crisis on Infinite Earth. You read every 0 Hour. You read every whatever the fuck. This isn't one story going through 3 titles and then that's it, for 3 months straight. This isn't 12 parts over 4 books or 3 books. You're going to read every single one, really. You're going to read ones with characters you don't like. Hey, Hulkling and Wiccan are going to have a gay romp through space, and somehow it's going to tie in with the vampires. You're going to really want to read that? Why would you read that? Maybe you like that. That's fine. It's misleading and it's not representative of the entirety of the story for a person to say that you need to read the 60 parts. That this story is a 60-part epic. That's not what it is. It's a five stories. If I needed to read everything that was important to this book, it would be one that Jed MacKay writes. So then you have to read his Avengers, and you have to read his Doctor Strange, and you have to read his Moon Knight. Well, let me tell you, the first Moon Knight, you don't need to read. The Doctor Strange that comes out this week, you should read it. And the Avengers, you don't need to read. So there you go. That's 2 other books you don't need to read. Blood Hunters comes out next week. You don't need to read any of those to get the story. I'm saving you money now. Now, how many books is this series now? Right now, it's 5 plus 1 so far. 6 books you need to read. 6 books that are going to be out within this week and last week that you need to read. We're going to count all 5 blood hunts and the 1 book, Doctor Strange, that you need to read this week. That's 6 books. I'll let you know next week how many of those you're going to need to read, because you're probably not going to need to read any of them because they're not going to be written by Jed McKay. There you go. Best of last week. Blood Hunt, number 1. Great seller, great book, real fun, dumb fun. No reason that that's a bad thing. When you have an event, dumb fun's probably the best you can hope for. All right. Let's go to Ewell. I will have a super chat for you tonight. I think it's something I asked Doc on his question of the week on Patreon. Hopefully it won't get you nothing will get me canceled ever. Eli Alexander Tanner, that's a great Hulk cover. My friend, that Nick Klein is an excellent illustrator, and I really enjoy the story that's going on right now. It's all horror based within Hulk, and there's these monsters and whatnot. But right now they're in Louisiana, and I don't know, there's something about Ghost and New Orleans and Loup-Garou, and stuff like that. So the last few issues have been there, and it still is. And Brother Voodoo, hey, that's pretty cool. All right, let's see. Lane says, I really like this issue of Hulk. I was feeling the vibe after that last 3-issue story. Well, it's set up for this one in the very least. Hulk was a bit of a letdown. They really need to get the story moving along. Well, I don't disagree there. I really like the story. I don't know though. All right, let me hold on a second. All right, so the best Hulk all time is Peter David writing Hulk, right? We can argue about the artist that he worked with that was the best, and whether or not they're better than Kirby. But when I was young and I was reading the Hulk, he was the dumb Hulk. Hulk smash, Hulk strongest one there is. Hulk hate long hair, or golden hair, or whatever the fuck he called, Bugman, Spider-Man. But that was the Hulk that was going on, and the TV show was going on, and Hulk was traveling around with this guy with this missing arm, this blonde guy. Sal Buscema was doing the art. I think Roger Stern, Bill Mantlo was doing the writing. Eventually, we get some really cool Mike Mignola and Bill Sienkiewicz covers. Hulk goes into limbo. Is it limbo where he's going through like different worlds? When Doctor Strange and the Avengers send him away for the first time. Those stories kind of feel like this stuff, with the exception of there's something that we're building to. But overall, it's just little stories of the Hulk traveling and his impaired friend. This time it's a young girl with the scarred face who kind of has dark feelings. And they're traveling, and I think it's very reminiscent of Hulk when I was growing up. As far as getting the story moving along, that's a little bit of the way comics are these days. What can I say? Oh, crap. The Deadpool Wolverine book by Joe Kelly? I might have to check it out. Who isn't tired of Deadpool? But also, Adam Kubert. Blood Hunt 1 was good. Dwayne Muth, I agree. Thumbs up, everybody who thinks Blood Hunt was good. People have learned not to buy all. Huge waste. That's why I have such a problem when Wes is like going so hard in the paint on this concept of this being a 60 issue thing. I would have been upset if I bought all right. When I worked at Comic Relief and Mikey came to work at Comic Relief and I was above him and I was just like, you got to do something. And he's all, what? I'm all, you got to read all of the Civil War. So he read all the Civil War. Ms. Marvel Civil War, Avengers Civil War, Spider-Man Civil War, whatever other Spider-Man Civil War, Civil War Battlefront, on and on and on and on and on. And that's a lot. And even if all of it was very good, and it wasn't, that just, you can't find full enjoyment out of that. It's just crazy. Blood Hunt does have too many issues. It's like Onslaught in 96. It is a lot. I don't disagree. But I don't think that. So it's a lot for the comic store. That's where it really sucks, Lane, because let me show it to you this way. You have all these Marvel books that come out, and it's not that you don't have enough space in your store to carry them and all of your DC and all of your independents. But then there's the second week, and now you have Blood Hunt and all these other Blood Hunt tie-ins. And you still have Blood Hunt, and you're trying to sell the rest of the series, and you have all these other books coming out. You got to make sure that those things are seen. And you kind of want to keep them next to the other things. Now, what I do is I just kind of put stuff in front of each other. It's not that big a deal after the first week. Here's where you can get all your Blood Hunt. But not every store can do that or is always going to do that. And then you have all the other stuff. And then you have DC, and maybe they're doing an event during that time. And it's not so bad if you don't get Image books or any Dark Horse books for the shelf or Boom comic books for the shelf or IDW comic books for the shelf. And you're like, all right, well, those are the main companies. And, I should have space for that. Well, let's say you like Sean Gordon Murphy and you want to put the Zorro comic up on top of that. Or maybe it's not even Sean Gordon Murphy, but a smaller company or a crowdfunded comic book that you got extras for the retailer space. And that's when Blood Hunt is too many issues. It's not that it's too much for the person purchasing it. The person purchasing it doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to get so up in arms for the person that wants to spend money. They want to spend money. They're going to spend money on whatever they want to spend money on. You know what I mean? You're working in a porn store and you're like, oh man, this is the 20th dildo I sold this dude today. Who cares? Let him buy dildos. Oh, they're just milking it. Each one, this is the glow in dark dildo. In the when I was a kid and we would go to the import record store, if you wanted to get all of your Depeche Mode vinyl, you were going to be spending a shit ton of money. Number one, it's imported. And then it was like colored vinyl, a different remix, a different version of that, a long version, an acoustic version, all on different. They're just milking it. And I remember getting up in arms about that. But then, what do I care? I hate Depeche Mode. All right, Lane's up again. For $5. They are supposed to be bisexual, but we will really see them with opposite gender again. First part of the question is in regular chat. Could not fit. Oh, shoot. Oh, so the black cat. So the black cat is shown in a relationship. She is with a new female in her new mini. I asked Doc if we saw, say, Catwoman in the same situation. Would we ever see with a male character again? Okay. Let me see if I understand this. Firstly, in Jackpot and Black Cat #1, the new mini-series that's come out, Black Cat is totally getting cozy with a lady. It's maybe like the next morning and Black Cat's going to go do her thing or something like that. And I think Jackpot shows up. I can't remember because I can't be bothered. I did target one of my, I don't know. I think lesbian's the way to go on this one. One of my lesbian customers, because she does get Catwoman. And even though Catwoman has straight adventures, she digs Catwoman. But every once in a while, she'll buy something that's LGBTQ friendly. Greg Rucka books are good for that. And anyway, I said, hey, maybe you might want to check this out. You know, the Black Cat's got a girlfriend. She's down for the collection when it comes out. So just doesn't want to collect any issues. Would we ever you asked Doc if we could see Catwoman in the same situation. I could see any of the characters these days in any of those situations, even with a male character. I think you can go too far with that, and I'm gonna speak for other people in this. Let's see. It's funny what some people find a bridge too far. I'm going to talk about a gay man who loves X-Men. And he was totally on board with what I personally thought was the most stereotypical, most ham-fisted portrayals of a gay individual coming out of the closet for the very first time in Iceman Bobby Drake in his series miniseries by what's his name? Cena Grace. Can't see me. But he was totally down for that. He was also totally down for Psylocke, Betsy Braddock, no longer being Asian, because for people that know, she was actually a British woman, but she got, I don't know, melded in with like some Chinese magic or something like that, and then was this really super hot assassin, Asian assassin. He was totally down for the ham-fisted, stereotypical representation of a gay Bobby Drake. But the ham-fisted, race swapping, I guess is what we would say. Race swapping of a British to a Chinese woman by Jim Lee, who wanted his own representation, right? That wasn't cool. Yeah, I think we could. I mean, why not? Who cares? I mean, if it's a what if or an Elseworlds, it really doesn't matter. If it's ultimate, Peter Rasputin, Colossus was gay in the Ultimate books. Wolverine was a simp that tried to ruin Jean's and Cyclops's relationship. So yeah, I think in those type of things we definitely can. As far as the main canon, I think it's probably still rooted in some misogyny, and and that it's okay to make ladies gay with each other. It's still like, oh, you can't joke about it being hot anymore, but we can do it for representation. We can go home and say it's hot. I'm not sure if it's still if it's really hot with dudes all the time, but as soon as like that's the majority of the people that are reading, or that they finally all come out of the closet, then yeah, why not? Hulk in Limbo with beautiful artwork by Mignola, Brett Blevins, and Al Williamson Inks. Amen. Elithidor says Wes's videos rely largely on anger, frustration, so he's always going to the extremes in his videos. He is. I'm not really being too harsh on him or Doc. They've got a lot of time, and they've got to fill it. And nobody cares about good times, right? I don't talk about this way this often because I don't really care. I like talking to you, with Laura. I like talking to Dwayne and all the people that I don't know that are outside of my store. I love the people that come in and see it afterwards and have watched the show and all this other stuff. It's fun. It's fun to do. I enjoy it. I like getting the clips together. It can be tough. There are people out there, like when I do really good things, it's sad that I don't have people actually watch it. But all this fucking around, what do you expect? Huh? What do you expect? You put a fucking shitty picture out there and you're going to get lit up. So yeah, they got to fill it up, and it's often with anger. But there are people out there that do positive videos, that do examinations of things, and they get really good views. Like some get the greatest views. You don't have to be hard in the paint. Looking for some disputes, but those can be fun, I'm sure. But I don't like working myself into that much anger. I got enough of that already. It's funny you keep saying comic reliefs. You worked since in New Jersey. Boss loved me. I bought 40 comics a month. All right, Lane, let me tell you about comic relief. So out here on the West Coast, up in Northern California, out here in California, a lot of people feel like we're important to comic books. If it wasn't for Berkeley, independent comics, really true independent comics, especially of that time when Crumb, where'd he be? And the store I worked for started I think it was in 88, but maybe it was 84. Comic Relief, and it was owned by this guy Rory Root, and along with Joe Field, who owns Flying Colors in Concord, they won the very, very first I think it's called the Spirit Award. It's the Eisner Store Award, and so they gave it to 2 stores, and it was Comic Relief and Flying Colors. It was a game back then, obviously. But Rory was very, very instrumental in the graphic novel sections and selling to libraries that we see these days. He was doing it long before people realized that this was a thing that needed to happen. And comics and we were influential in supplying comics. We sold lots of manga. We sold my favorite superhero stuff that was readily available. So when there was really good superhero stuff or good alternative Vertigo type stuff in libraries, depending on the library, of course, we had to tailor it to the specific needs of the area. We were it was very important. And when Rory would go to shows, he would make sure to buy way too much from all the independent creators, especially the really great ones. And he was very influential in getting people there. I don't want to say their starts in comics, but continuing their thing going. And working for him was very, very interesting. And someday, because I've been talking about it with the people, I would love to have a tribute show. There's that guy, that Gary Shaheen guy on YouTube that had a tribute show to Comic Relief. We're talking about the Berkeley store. But mine would be much better. Much better. It'll be the greatest show I ever do. Because it'll be me doing the things I do, obviously. And then having a really good cast of people that actually worked in the store. And there are some people that went on to do other things that would be really good to be a part of the show. And people that went on to work for companies, do other things. That would be a hot one. But we need 300 likes on something. Customer, Sean Hickey. I think the thing that bothers me about Blood Hunt, oh no, don't say that, is that between the main series and tie-ins, there are multiple special books going on as well. Example, Union Jacks and Midnight Suns. Well, yeah, a Union Jack's going to get a mini-series, but I already know I'm down, even though that mask really sucks. Something about something I read was like, oh my God, I got to get this. It might have been when I was ordering it. Midnight Suns, probably not something I'm ever going to care about. But, you know, you got to put Ghost Rider in something, right? Let's see. I'll read the main and the tie-ins, but good luck convincing me to care about 5 other unrelated books, character-wise at least. Well, wait till we talk about next week. Don't say it like that, Yule. Since you know I am a Peter and Felicia fan, you know this means I will not see them together ever again. Now, that's not true. There's going to be a brave soul someday that's going to write Robin. Tim Drake. Oh, this is the character I could give a shit about. Okay, like everybody's all, oh, Tim Drake, and I mean, I think like canonically, having a character that scored with chicks for like 20 years, but it might have really in comic book terms be like 7 years. Never show any like affection or any to anybody other than Bruce and his father, right? To another guy. And now he's like, woo. I don't really like that. I think it's like, you could just really just make a new character. Scott Snyder has no problem throwing in a new gay character. I don't think there's any reason why, we can't do that with somebody else. It doesn't have to be the Black Cat or Selena. The thing is Jackpot won't sell without the Black Cat. Well, actually, it won't sell without those Pablo Villalobos covers that really sell hot women on the cover, but then you read it on the inside, not so hot. That's what I don't like that even more. Gotta let you know. But there's going to be a brave soul someday that's going to go in and we're going to write a comic book, and then they're going to be like, that person's either with a boy or that person's with a girl. And someone's going to go, what? But I thought you were, and then they go, it's just a phase. That'll do it. Speaking of that, outrage sells, gets clicks. Unfortunately, it's a tactic that still works. Oh yeah, man. All the videos that are this is the only politics I'm going to say. On my YouTube videos, when I see one that's a Trump one, especially with court related, panic, upset, furious, over whatever is being reported on. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, it's like, oh, and then I look in the views, 246,000 people. I'm going to just start naming mine. Trump gets upset and leaves in a panic, in a huff. Sorry if I'm being sort of negative in some of this, but I do care about some of this. Lane, I totally agree. And I totally appreciate your position, and I appreciate all people's positions when it comes to this kind of stuff, because like I can understand it. And I even said it, when you start screwing with Black Cat, I'm going to be upset. I find that I'm not really that upset. That was kind of like supposed to be the last straw, and whatever. I mean, her and Pete could get back together. I mean, if they don't settle him down with Mary Jane in the 616, or if they don't start over. I worked at a Comic Relief in the 90s in New Jersey where I lived at the time. Yeah, okay. I kind of got that. Comic Relief, I mean, not a real original name, and you can have like territorial disputes, but not within different states. And now you crap all over my boy Tim Drake. It's how I do. All right, guys, I think this is a good time for us to spin the wheel.
Bill, spin my arm.
Come on, come on, come on!
Come on. Come on. I win a Winnebago. I win a Winnebago. No! So close. I spun it a little too hard.
Man, that Peggy is such a bee. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to have 2 spins, everybody. You know how it goes. These are all the people that bought the main series of Transformers number 6. This is the last drawn Daniel Warren Johnson interior, a Joe Quinones variant. Daniel Warren Johnson still continues to write Transformers, at least for the next 6 issues, 7, 8 to 12. Good luck, everybody. Some new names on this one. Some I can't pronounce. Thank goodness I won't have to worry about it. Victor, congratulations. You're moving on to the final round. I'm going to get rid of all these names, and then you know what the deal is. All the people that purchase the 1 in 10, that's the, I know who it was. The 1 in 10 was drawn by, is it Jeffrey Verege? Maybe I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong. And he is the guy that, did all the Native American Marvel covers, and recently he passed on. He left this mortal coil, and R.I.P. to him. Yeah, to anybody that bought that, they are in the spin. So let me present the screen one more time. We got Victor in the first round winning. And now we've got 3 last names: Cameron, Bruce, and Steve. Bruce and Steve have won before. I think so is Cameron, actually. So good luck to all y'all. You don't really need it. And round and round it goes. Bruce is going on to the final round. He's got a 50-50 chance for winning his second Transformers comic book. He also won one of our first wheel spins. That was when we did the Joe Casey America Chavez first appearance variant cover. That was good. That was a good one. And that was anybody that bought the Image Anniversary 5, 6, and 7, which had Dutch number 0 in it. Dutch number 1, 2, and 3 finished. And I already got a copy for the follow-up series that's going to be based in today's Image universe. And it's a superhero one coming up. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about that in probably a week. All right, one little video to play. That's right, Transformers. Who is going to win this variant copy of number 6? It's Victor, it's Bruce. It's Bruce, it's Victor. Only one can win. Let's see who it is. Good luck. All right, I wish I could spin a little longer. Oh, Bruce, the rich get richer. Look at that. Congratulations. Congratulations, Bruce. That will be in your poll list or in your poll box tomorrow. I'm sure I'll see you on the weekend. Congratulations, Bruce. You are...
You will win a You will win a
All right, I finished my beer. To anybody that's ever interested, you don't have to buy comic books from me in order to to support this channel, to support me, Yule Carter, you can go to our Patreon page. It's all Fantastic Comics. You could join the channel, subscribe, but do be a joiner. It's been so hard. I'm getting to it. I promise. It's going to be a good one. But we're going to have a good thing for y'all. We also have videos that we're going to be doing. I have it ready to go. I just have to edit it. So maybe it's not ready to go. But we're going to have some videos coming up for you. They're really cool. And yeah, if you are interested in throwing a couple bucks our way, I would recommend doing it the Patreon way. You don't want to be like George here and not be seen.
You know, my last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos! 650 your change. Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio! Sì! Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrona!
All right. Good video to start. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Once again, we are going to get into new comic book day right now.
Why, we sell a dozen a day in this price range.
Who buys them? Tax collectors?
Even if I had to pay, it would be worth it. Just for the occasion.
What, something big going on somewhere?
What's going on right here? It's a big night.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
That's right. Calendar's full of them. And in no particular order, here are the new comic books for... Well, soon it's going to be every comic book is going to be released on Wednesday. That happens in July, I do believe. All right, first up, we have Batman number 147. I'm going to talk about this specifically to my customers. I had a little bit of a shortage on some of the books that I ordered, and this was one of them. I have enough for the people that I pull already, and I should have enough for all the people that come in normally. But beware, I have had some new customers recently. There was Free Comic Book Day. And you might miss out if this isn't on your hold, so you can always give me a call. Next up, we have Transformers number 8. Daniel Warren Johnson writing. Jorge Corona doing the art. Yeah, cool. I thought the 7th issue was pretty cool. I really just skimmed it. I just wanted to see how the art was. I think the fact that I'm out of 7 issues, I have read 6 Transformers is pretty darn good. Something even better than that, but some of you might pity me for it. I've read all 49 issues of The Amazing Spider-Man, and this is indeed a Blood Hunt tie-in. Notice I didn't say that you needed to read this to read Blood Hunt. You do need to read this to read Spider-Man, though. And if you want to see what he's doing, this is going to lead into the 3-issue miniseries so that number 50 could continue the regular Spider-Man shenanigans going on in the book. You know, he has to operate in the light of day sometimes. I guess we don't have to worry about him dying at the end of that storyline. It was an okay issue. John Romita was on art. I thought it was good. I like John Romita Jr. And it was an okay issue. It just wasn't really important. You know, you can skip it. If you get Spider-Man pulled for you, you can't skip it, though, okay? Next up, we have Fantastic Four number 20. Keep selling out. I get more, and I sell out. I know a lot of it does have to do with these covers, which are just scintillating. Alex Ross, I think he's doing a great job. His best work, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it's as I've grown older, I like him better. But he's done a really good job. What it was that that Fantastic Four, it became the first issue of one of the relaunches, but they did a big old poster for it. And I just love the way it told the story of the Fantastic Four becoming the Fantastic Four. Just expertly done on one poster. Avengers number 14. Do you want to know what the Avengers are doing who aren't the ones that got effed up in Blood Hunt #1? Well, I do, because Captain America is involved in, oh no, Nazi zombies. And I'm going to turn off my face for this one. You know how I love the idea of Nazi zombies, right? You know I don't like it at all. Or I mean vampires, sorry, Nazi vampires. But if I had thought about it, it would have been apparent and obvious and why I would have thought towards the end of this book it actually was quite good. Do you need to read it for Blood Hunt? No. Is it something that pertains to the people on this book? At least one of them. And I highly recommend it. This one was really good. Again, another Jed McKay, and it's his event. So obviously this would be one to get. Birds of Prey #9. Again, another one of those books that sells out. I do keep the numbers tight. I am always willing to put this on hold for people, but I'm also very happy to sell out of it. So #9 comes out. X-Men Forever #3. It's just a couple more months, everybody. You can hold, just take it easy. Now, what the heck would happen to make Mystique want to kill Destiny? Is it not really Destiny? I don't know. She's way younger than I ever remembered her to be. So it could be a different lady. All right, the Blood Hunt book, you need to get Doctor Strange #15. You don't need to get 1 through 14. You need to get 15 if you got Blood Hunt #1. If you got 1 through 14 of Doctor Strange, then you have to get Blood Hunt #1. Understand? Good. Geiger #2 comes out. I want you to remember when Geiger #1 came out, also Red Coat and the Rook Exodus #1 came out also. And as #2 of this comes out, well, you can tell me later on if you see those other books. If you need the reprints of the other issues, I do have those coming in. They're a really neat yellow cover. The Boy Wonder #1 by Junie Baugh, story and art. And let me tell you, it's beautiful. Great art. If you like Damien, you have to get this. If you just like really, really good art, and it's different art, but for a superhero book. So you're not going to see something like this very often. If you're a fan of that Grompa Gargoyle by Gotham, this is not like that. But in its differentness to mainstream comics, it is. Highly, highly, highly recommended. If only for that alone. This is a Black Label book, and although I haven't read every single page, I have not seen any reason why it couldn't be sold to someone younger. But you might want to wait till this is over before you do that. Having said that, you out there that want to read something interesting and good and just is like beautiful, this is the book. Blood Hunters #1. I'm going to tell you about this because I read every single story. If you don't know these characters, then you probably haven't ever read a Marvel comic or seen a Marvel movie. It's Hawkeye, it's Dagger. Yeah, it's Dagger, and it's a werewolf. Well, it's Man-Wolf, I mean. Some Spider-Man fan. The first 2 stories are standalones, and the first one's written by Mark Russell. That's the guy who's going to be doing a book coming up soon. And Christos Gage does the Man-Wolf story. And I thought they were both very good. The Hawkeye and the Man-Wolf they were passable. Nice little 8-page stories featuring these characters and what they're doing during the Blood Hunt. Erica Schultz writes the Dagger, and that's the more important story to this, whole event, because Cloak is involved, Cloak and Dagger, in the whole Darkhold thing, which has blotted out the sun that let the vampires come out. This is actually a continuing story from one Bloodhunter's book to the other. So there is a connective thread to the miniseries. Again, you probably don't need to read anything here. But they were all very passable, good stories featuring characters I don't normally read. And if you're a fan of any one of them, you should definitely get it. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, number 6. Why, I've been told this is not an ongoing series, but indeed a mini-series, and this is the last one. Now, that was told by somebody that came into the store, so I don't know if that's true. This is a cool cover, though. Sacrificers number 8. It's a pigeon story, everybody. Finally. Wow, did you see what that sun and moon goddess offspring went through in the last issue? It was crazy. Beautiful art by Max Fiamura. Just amazing stuff. Rick Remender, not always 100% for me. This is one of the books that is, though. Definitely a worthwhile read. Energon Universe 2024 special. The one they say is just a reprint of the Free Comic Book Day comic. I say that can't be true. It's definitely thicker than the other one. But I don't know for a fact. And I'm very scared to let you know this. If you feel sorry for me and don't want to know either, just purchase it. We can give it to somebody. Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin, one of those stories that takes us back in a time when we liked comic books. Written by one of those persons that used to write comics. Actually, I didn't really like Spider-Man back then. A lot of people liked Luke Ross, but I did not. And Paul Ryan could suck an egg. Yeah, there was a lot of bad stuff going on in the late 90s, and J.M. DeMatteis was actually part of it. Even though he'd write one of my all-time favorite books, this isn't necessarily something I'm really super looking forward to. But I do want to read a good Spider-Man book, and yeah, it might work. The artwork's pretty cool, too. Number 2. Dracula Blood Hunt number 1 of 3, a miniseries featuring Dracula and some chick with a sword. The artwork's pretty good, and I only read a few pages of it. I already know I personally don't care. I know a lot of people can't stand Danny Lore, so I'm kind of inclined to want to read it to see if it's actually good. But then I was thinking about it, and then I just put it down. The art did look good. Strange Academy number 1 of 3. What are the kids in Louisiana going to do during all this vampire stuff? Why, I'm interested because I've already told you about my Louisiana fetish. And I love these kids. They're great. I am a little sad that it's not the original writers of the book, Scotty Young doing it or Humberto Ramos on art. But, it's 3 issues, and I think I can give it a try. Giant Size X-Men number 1. Ann Nocenti. And Jesse Tyler Ferguson on art. Excellent. Nice Brian Hitch cover, even though he's exclusive to Ghost Machine. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, black, white, and green. It's not black, white, and red, or blood, or blue, or yellow, or gold. It's green, because they're turtles. First story done by Declan Shalvey, writing and art. Really, really good looking. There's 4 stories in this, and I only paged through most of it. And one of the ones was it was okay, but 3 of the 4 were really, really cool looking. A book I did finish was Joe Casey's and Dan McDade's Kneel Before Zod number 6. Is it already 6 issues? Jeez. No, that's a 5, I think. Either way, this was really, really cool. Zod at the end of the last issue had kind of like lost it, let's say. And he wakes up in a precarious situation and goes about dealing with it in his most Zod way possible. It's destruction at your finest, and I highly recommend the series. I started selling out of some of the issues, so beware. I might not have the one before, but I will be ordering it, or it's already been ordered. Ain't No Grave, #1 by Scotty Young and the artist that he worked on one of those other books. Let me see if I can see. No, I think it's like Jorge Corona. It's not the same guy that does Transformers, I think, but it's something like that. They worked on one of those other books together. I can't remember what it was called, but maybe like Farmhand. No, that was somebody else. Anyway, Ain't No Grave. Gone, #3. This is the Jock written and drawn series. I thought the very first issue was good, but I didn't read the second. And now the last issue is out. So if you want to get them, you should come on in. The Valiants, #1. I'm just, there's some people that care about Valiant books, right? Last Mermaid, #3. Oh, I got to read #2 already. Darn it. Crocodile Black by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Psalm and Patricia Dopeche. What would make a person turn to a life of crime? I know most of you guys think that's really cool, so I'm sure it is. Another offering by Boom. Love and Rockets, Gilbert and Jaime Hernandez. And last but not least, because there's so much more, Mugshots, issue #1 by people I don't know. This has that very Elise Chartier style to the art, and the panel layouts are really cool. And it's cool because there's a gun on the cover, and I like that. And that's New Comic Book Day for 5/8/24. There's also some other really cool offerings. Let me see if I have one of them right here. If I could pull this out without knocking stuff over. I thought I had it. Maybe I don't. Should I order more? There's this book called Metal, and I've read it, and it's nonsensical, but it's really, really cool looking. These two people at the beginning of the story their plan is to go through all these houses and rob them. And right at the beginning, they're like, "Oh, this house is haunted," the one guy says. And he's like, "Haunted? Give me a break." And the minute he goes in there, everything's all fucking weird. Good art. Really, really nice stuff. Yeah, there probably won't ever be another issue. One that threatens to have another issue is Dungeon Mage by Nate Doyle. And I'm a big fantasy fan. I'm also big on black and white stuff. I just think all this kind of stuff goes hand in hand. This is both Strangers Publishing. Oh yeah, let's see. Let's look at this. Oh, look at this double page spread. Is that sweet or what? Yeah. Anyway, Dungeon Mage by Nate Doyle. Boom. And also Transformers trade paperback collecting the first 6 issues of Transformers by Daniel Warren Johnson and Robert Kirkman's company Skybound comes out. Highly recommend picking that up if you don't want to pick up the issues. Not all of them are available. Let's go back to the chat before I think. Oh, wait. Before I go back to the chat, let me do this. Thanks to all our patrons running down the bottom of the screen. Oh, it might have changed this month. I'm going to have to change that for next week. No, I think I fixed it. I think it's all good. Thanks everybody for tuning in once again. Let's see here. I scrolled way too far. Yeah, you can't get me canceled, Blaine. I can cancel you though. Let's see. You got to get past all this outrage. Okay, here we go. Dwayne Moose says Chuck Dixon did some good work on Tim Drake Robin, almost 125 issues, and Megan Fitzmartin killed a Robin book in 10 issues. Yeah, Chuck Dixon is a really, really good writer. I like Chuck Dixon a lot. I will not read stuff that isn't a mainstream company by him, though. Well, that's not 100% true, but Chuck, when I realized Chuck Dixon was a great writer, it wasn't when I read a book that I wouldn't normally like Team 7 for Wildstorm, because wow, what an issue. What a mini series. It wasn't that, he writes Punishers that I wouldn't want to read Punisher, but he writes the good ones. He wrote Simpsons issues, and they were truly funny and very much like an episode of The Simpsons. The problem with animated cartoons or animation being put in a comic book form, especially like sitcoms, something that's very dependent on the voice of a person, if you can't hear that voice in your head, then it has to somehow be able to come across in the words. And a lot of times the Simpsons comics, it's like it kind of is, but it isn't. But the Chuck Dixon ones, the ones I really like, though, were his Nightwing books. His Nightwing is where he excelled the most. That and Birds of Prey. The Geeky Puppet Show says our channel is pretty much about having a good time and talking about the books we like. Amen. Amen. Check out the Geeky Puppet Show. Joe Corallo, who's been a guest on here, was talking about having done stuff on with you guys. So yeah, definitely check them out. I know Eric Breen does. Anyway, honestly, Alex Ross's covers are the only thing that gets me to read it eventually. Nazi vampires looks like they were borrowed from Hellsing anime. Au contraire, mon frere. I'll have you know, this is steeped in Marvel lore. And I gave it a passing grade because of that. Whereas I thought it looked stupid. I hope we're talking about the same one. This is great. I thought it looked stupid. I did not like it. I mean, the writing was fine, and they have to get a new team of Avengers together, and that was cool. We got to hear their voices. You know how I don't really like that, but it was cool. And then we got to the Nazi vampires, and I was like, But then, at the end, it was okay. And I was like, oh, duh. It's good. So I'm all right. You guys are going to bed. I'm going to get off in just a second. Woo! Can't wait for Zod 5. Please save me one. Yes, I will. And Lord Gonzo says, I loved him on Nightwing. Amen. The thing is like, what I felt that Chuck Dixon, I love calling him Chucky Dix. What Chucky Dix was doing was he was creating a rogues gallery, not unlike the Batman villains. And when he twisted that one dude Roadblock's head around, and it was stupid that he did that, it was so right. It was very much like a Batman villain. And the whole series was really good, especially when they got the that tail cut off of Dick's head. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. These are all our patrons that have given me money over the course of time. They see the videos that I put on our private channel, on our privated videos here on the channel also. It's just not many. Sometimes I get other stuff, but it's not much. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. one last time, go buy comics tomorrow, and I'll see you next week.
Lucy and Ramona cruising through the jungles of L.A. Hoping to promote a dream somewhere along the way. They're rolling through the streets, looking for a disco, passing up the treats from a kid named Cisco, trying to make connections with their blemish-free complexions, and just as fate would have it, ended up with Sunset Sam. Sam was selling watches from a suitcase on a TV tray. And Lucy and Ramona kept trying to figure out if he was gay. The three of them were standing, staring at each other, when the light behind their eyes blew each other's cover. The ancient code was branded, and each of them was handed a ticket to their kingdom, 'cause they saw their brother Sunset Sam. Sunset Sam. Lucy was from Compton, and she met Ramona at the zoo. Ramona was from Brooklyn, but she left when she was 22. Sam was a native of the Arizona desert, but he split when he was slated for some governmental make-work. Their differences subsided when the common bond was sighted. They were all from the same place that made the famous Sunset Sam.